So let's start off by doing a calculation that will force the calculator to put the answer in scientific notation. So I'm going to take 9 nines and I'm going to multiply that by 8 eights. And this product is definitely going to be too big to fit in the display. And what that'll cause the calculator to do is to turn the answer into a scientific or exponential notation answer. And now here it is. So I'm going to get you a little closer to that. The answer is 8.88 and so on times 10 to the 16. So on this style of calculator, the capital E is read as times 10 to the. So again, 8.88 and so on times 10 to the 16 is the displayed answer. But how would you get a number like this into the calculator? So for that, you need to use the EE button. Now here is the EE button on top of the comma. So the comma is on the button itself, but above the button is a blue EE. Now to access the blue features, you have to first push the second button. So I'm just gonna go out a little bit here so you can see the whole thing. We're gonna clear the display, and I'm gonna input 8.88 times 10 to the 8th, let's say. So 8.88, so that's currently in the display. Now times 10 to the is all accomplished with that EE button. So to access that, I have to push the second and then the EE button. And now what's happened in the display is a capital E has appeared because that E represents times 10 to the. And then I'm going to put the 8 in for the exponent, and there's the number. Now, if this number fits in the calculator display, I could hit enter or equals, and it will turn it into an ordinary number. But of course, if this number was too big to fit in the display, it would be forced to leave it in scientific notation. So now I'm going to multiply this number times a string of 3s, let's say, and say enter. And the answer is going to be too big to fit in the display, so I know my calculator is going to put it in scientific notation. And there it is, 2.96 times 10 to the 19. Now, some of the differences that exist, instead of the EE button that I have here, some of you may have a button that's labeled EXP, and the EXP button is often down here in the bottom row of the calculator or somewhere about here on the calculator, although there are a lot of variations. And then really a very convenient button to have, and I would say one of the more common buttons that's starting to show up is times 10 to the N. So somewhere typically around here on the calculator, right on the button, it'll say times, 10, and then the N is raised to the exponent power. And that button is read exactly like the EE button is read, times 10 to the. When you use scientific notation on your calculator, it is essential that you never, ever, ever hit the times 10 for the 10. That would make your answer basically wrong by a factor of 10. So here's a very common number in chemistry, 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd. So the right sequence would be 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd. And there it is in the display. So that would be the correct sequence. But here's how some students go wrong. They do something like this. 6.02 times 10, and then they do the EE, and then the 23rd. Now, if you were to input a number like that, this is no longer to the 23rd, this is now actually to the 24th, because consider what you told the calculator to do. You told it to take 6.02, multiply that by 10, and then multiply that again by 10 to the 23rd. And that would bring you to where we are right now, 6.02 times 10 to the 24th. So that never, ever should happen. Times 10 to the is all incorporated in this one single button here.